Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaged Review. My name is Kevin Jackwitz, and I am about to review The First Purge. Now, this is a non-spoiler review, so don't worry, I'm not going to reveal too much about the storyline. I'm going to talk mainly about what I thought about the performances and the basic synopsis, and we'll deal with the main meat of the review in the spoiler review. So, The First Purge, the basic premise. Now, we've all seen The Purge by now if we're watching The First Purge, more than likely. We kind of already get the grasp. If you don't have the grasp is the government has concocted a way for people to deal with all of their hidden desires and anger and, all the negativity throughout the year. In 12 hours out of the year, one day, they let people do whatever they want. Murder, rape, steal, everything is good to go. And it's a way of exorcising the demons, so to speak. So The First Purge is actually the fourth movie in the Purge series. This is a prequel that goes back to how it all started. And one thing I will say is right off the bat, you don't really get to see how it all started. You get the idea of how it started. You get news clips and short pieces of newscasts where they're talking about how the world is changing, literally everything that you see around us right now, which I thought was really interesting and very good. They're talking about, the stock market crashing, the huge divide, racial tension, and everything that's happening right now. And it just builds and builds, and they tell you that they're going to do an experiment, and the other three Purge movies, it was all the way across the nation. The whole nation went through the Purge. Well, here they're only doing an experiment in Staten Island, and it's basically to find out if this is going to work, and if it does, then it's going to go nationwide. So, that's where we start the whole synopsis for this movie. It was very political in a lot of ways. It dealt with a lot of today's political issues. And some things, I will say, were a little bit too on the nose for me, and they just kind of made it so obvious. So that was a little bit too much, honestly, in my opinion. Let's talk about the characters, though. You have Lex Scott Davis, who plays Naya. Naya is this woman. She is living with her brother in a very run-down apartment with Muga. I don't know how the hell you say her name, but she plays Dolores. So Naya and Dolores live in this broken down apartment with Isaiah, who is Naya's brother. Nothing seems to work. Isaiah is just absolutely willing to do whatever it takes to get out of this apartment situation. He wants to help him and his sister out. So Isaiah decides that he's going to, start selling drugs. Well, that really hits home really quick, and I'm going to save some of that for spoiler talk. But Naya used to date this guy, Dimitri, who is really the main protagonist of the movie, played by Ilan Noel. And I've never seen this guy in anything before, or at least never paid attention to him. And I have to say, I was really impressed with this guy. I see great things for this guy. He really was good. So, all of this is kind of interwoven. Naya used to date Dimitri. Naya's brother, Isaiah, is now trying to sell drugs under a guy that works for Dimitri. And you kind of see where things are kind of all intertwined here. Everybody's getting ready for the Purge, though. This is all happening, literally as the day arrives for the Purge. And you have this series of events that kind of draws everybody together, obviously. But the thing is, they're trying to figure out, should they just leave Staten Island? Should they try to stay and protect their own? What's the right course of action here? And, a lot of times, the people who want to do good, they stay and protect their own. The difference is Dimitri, like I said, the main protagonist is a drug dealer. And not really the nicest of people. But I will say, I think it's kind of ironic that they chose him, because who else is going to have just a stock load of guns and weapons to fight back against the Purge? So I thought it was kind of an appropriate choice. Even though he's not a likable character, it makes sense that he's going to know how to defend himself, and he's going to have the ability because he really doesn't care about the law anyway. So, Dimitri, like I said, played by Elon Noel, was very, very good. I thought he was very convincing. As far as the action sequences, he did very well. The guy looks like $1,000,000. He's built like a brick. Naya, played by Lex Scott Davis, I also thought was very good. Had a little bit of charm to it, and I will say there were a couple of scenes that, it was the writing more than the acting that really just kind of hit me the wrong way. And I'll get into that in spoiler review, especially when we're talking about the political statements that they made. Jovian Wade plays the younger brother Isaiah. He's pretty good at it. The only thing that I would say is there was a scene where he really had to sell the fear and, kind of terror in his eyes, and I don't know that I was really all bought into it at that moment. But he did pretty damn good overall, I will say. Now, Muga, however you say it, this is the actress that played Dolores. She was there more for comic relief than anything else. And this was a movie that had some very good one-liners in it, honestly. There were a few spots in this movie where she'd drop a line and the theater would laugh, like the entire theater. So it definitely hit. And I think it was a nice mix. I've noticed that movies nowadays, my girlfriend made a comment that it's cool how movies can blend, comedy and suspense and emotional moments all together in one movie very, very well nowadays. And it's weird because the acting has gone downhill, I think, overall, but they seem to have genuinely gotten better at mixing a good amount of comedy, a good amount of action, a good amount of heartfelt moments all in one movie. So I do agree with her there. Marissa Tomei. Oh my god, Marissa Tomei. This was one of my big crushes when I was younger, dude. I love her. And, she's starting to show her age, definitely. She plays Dr. Abdale, who is literally the architect of the Purge. Literally the lady who conceived the whole idea. And, I was really surprised that they got Marissa Tomei to do this. It just does not seem like her type of movie. And I'll be honest, I don't know that she fit into it. There were a lot of times where I was like, I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not. And that was sad for me. I think that, her role was honestly kind of small in comparison to everything else that was going around. And it fell a little bit flat. Now, Patch Derrick played the Chief of Staff, Arlo Sabian, who works directly hand in hand with Marissa Tomei's character. And, he's your average, typical corporate jerk that nobody's going to like. And, just an absolute slimeball. So, and, honestly, the character didn't take much. So what he did with the character was fine. I just don't know that there was much to do with the character. So, there's that. And then you have, one of the main characters in this movie is a guy called Skeletor. Street name, obviously. And he's this drugged up, incredibly insane, psychotic, just despicable human being. And he's literally the first person you see when the movie opens up. They're doing an interview with the Skeletor guy. And so, the basic premise is he wants to participate in the First Purge because he's crazy and he wants to go around killing people. And it's exactly what they wanted to see, so they're utilizing him. Rachimi Paul plays Skeletor. And I gotta say, if you ever seen a picture of him without, the makeup that they had to use on him, he looks fairly normal. And he did a really good job of, playing this really creepy character, honestly. I think he did very well with it. There was some facial inflections that he used that really sold the twisted emotions in his mind, and you can see it play very well through his eyes. So I really like the guy as far as what he did in the movie and playing this character who is just completely nuts. I think he did very, very well with it. I mean, overall, the movie, I don't know that it was anything groundbreaking. I mean, it was your typical Purge movie at this point. You've got 4 of them. You kind of know what to expect. As far as the Purge itself, the gore factor, things like that, the carnage, which is really what a lot of people go to see these movies for, it started very slow. It started incredibly slow, actually. And they were doing a lot of character development. They were doing a lot of relationship development, which was good. I really like that. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing. I do appreciate the fact that they're explaining how the Purge got created, sort of, and they're explaining, what these relationships have to do with one another. I thought that was very good. But if you're going into this for Carnage Candy, it's not going to be until the 3rd act of the movie. And the 3rd act of the movie was, very good. And it was exactly what you would expect for the Purge. So overall, I mean, it was fun. It was entertaining. It landed some very good punchlines, which I thought really sold very, very well. The 3rd act was really good. I really liked the action in it. Very cool there. It does take time to get there, though. I will say that. So don't be expecting, a complete carnage fest with this movie, because it's not going to be. I mean, overall, slightly above average. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. It was entertaining. I enjoyed myself. Didn't really break any ground. And it really didn't set any new precedents for the movie or the series. So, 6 out of 10 I think is fair for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you've seen it. Leave spoilers for the spoiler review. If you enjoyed the review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz. Kaged Nation out.